Welcome everyone back to NIO stock. Now NIO is a stock that we've looked at several times over the years, but when we look at where NIO is today, we're seeing some interesting stuff. Like the stock today is up by about 6.5%, almost 7%, and the past 5 days we've seen this stock almost hit a bottom at about 723, and the question is now, with this trend that we're seeing forming and the stock being up by about 9% since then, what comes next? Are we going to see the stock come down a little bit more, or could we see a potential run ahead? Well, I think it's important to outline a few things first. The most notable being that on the 1 month chart, NIO stock is still down quite significantly, the lows being 16% down and the current point where we are being around 9.5% down. On the 6 month chart, we're seeing a very interesting story for NIO. When we look from the beginning of that time frame to now, we are actually up by about 3%, but that's not the full story. I mean, we've seen rises of well over 100% in that time, and of course substantial drops ever since. Now, the question is, when we look at this current uptick, is it just that? Is it just a current uptick, or could we be seeing a massive trend change here with NIO? Now, in the past couple of years, we've seen a lot happening with this stock, and I only bring up all of this context because I think it's important, as NIO stock is from its highs down quite a lot, actually around 87%. But when we look over here to this article which came out just yesterday, we see that NIO stock bounces after October EV sales jumped by about 60%. On top of that, and we're not going to read the full article, but you can see this Market Watch article saying that on top of that, Li Auto's October sales actually surged by about fourfold, and XPeng sales actually almost did the same. So not bad figures overall. The question then could be which one's a better investment out of NIO, XPeng, and of course Li Auto as well. But what I am saying here is we're seeing good news for this stock regardless in the short term. Now, normally I don't actually read too much into news events because even if it is a very good news event, or unless it's massively significant, I don't see it as being something big. However, this one I think could be in that last category of being massively significant. And the reasons why I say that is because when we look at how the stock has been performing for some time, it is down significantly. And this spike of only 9% compared to even the drops that we've seen is worth noting, and I think that we could be in a position now where NIO could be A, coming near to its bottom, and B, coming to a point where we could be considering it as a better investment because of how low it is. So of course, as I always say, I don't tell people what to invest in, that's not my job. What I would say though is, NIO is a stock which is down significantly, we've had good news for it, and we are closer to the bottoms than we are to the tops that we've seen recently. With all that being considered, if I was looking to buy NIO stock, I'd probably wait it out a day or two just to see what happens with this trend. Are we going to rise more, or could we potentially get in for a slightly better price? And on top of that, are we going to see the potential for NIO stock to actually maintain these levels? Again, the stock is down a lot. I think even if it was to drop, we would be closer to the current bottom than the top, so there's, in my opinion, a little bit less risk for that reason. However, I do still think it's one of those stocks which, if I was looking to buy it, I'd wait a few days and then I'd be considering this as more of a potential swing trade over the next couple of months, or even a long-term investment, because there is just a lot to wait on here. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, of course, give it a like and subscribe, and I do hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.